Hello, everybody. This is lecture 26, digital marketing and SEO. I love digital marketing. I will talk a bit more about it in the next video, the course I teach as well, but I do find this one of the more fascinating areas of marketing, particularly from a number of different things, the sustainability that we can have with it, the reach that we can have with it, and things like that. So marketing is steadily becoming more digital. And we all see that every day. I mean, look how many more purchases that we all make online. So we're going to focus on a couple of things: SEO, search engine optimization, and some of the prevalent options for digital advertising. What is SEO? Well, it's a way that, I mean, in practical sense, it's a way that we make our website easier to find. When you go and search, say, I want a new pair of shoes, I'm going to go search tennis shoes or sneakers with tie-dyed laces or whatever. And I type that in. And then how those companies rank to the top, say Nike comes up to the top, that's because they have search engine optimization. They're paying for that in some respects. It's organic and it's paid. We're going to talk through a little bit of that. SEO value. How many online searches? What does the second page look like? What's more credible? Something that filters to the top or something that, is 10, 12 pages down? These are all things that brands have to consider, and their customers do tend to trust the things that are up higher in the search ranking. So failing to rank high on a search engine dramatically limits who's going to see it and how much credibility and trust that they have in your brand. What are the goals? Well, our goals is we want to match as many of the searches as possible. We want to make sure that people are finding us for all the different things that we have. We want to appear first. Okay. We want to have our search engine ranking be as close to the top as possible. We want to be able to help our customers find relevant content on web pages. And so that's why search engines are constantly performing a couple of tasks, two of them. One is indexing. They create an index of all the content online. So it's kind of like a book. And at the end, you have all the, the index of all the different things that you might find. So if you think of it that way, I'm looking for sneakers in the back and I see sneakers are on page 209, then I'm flipping back. It's kind of virtually doing that. That's what a search engine does. Crawling, it crawls around and it helps find all that. Say that there was not an index in the back of the book and we had to find some other way. Maybe I would go in and I would do a crawl through the book and kind of see if there's words that are popping up. Maybe I had the book digitally online and we're crawling through it to see if there's a specific word that pops up. So that's how the search engines work. There's search engine market share. Obviously, Google is the big one. We all use Google, right? Yahoo, it used to be bigger. It's 2.99%. Bing is a little bit more, but definitely Google is the main player in the market. Search engines also consider a page's relevancy, its popularity, its authority, and how high it ranks up. The bigger you are, the bigger, more well-known your brand in, the higher you're just going to rank, even without that paid content behind it. How does Google actually do this? So this is interesting. There's people study this for years. There's experts in this area in terms of understanding how Google works and how those rankings work. They don't rank an entire website. That's kind of a bit of confusion, but individual pages. So on the back end, there's all sorts of keywords that are embedded in that so it can pull into those pages. Each page must be optimized for Google to be able to find it. So what about relevancy optimization? Well, optimization will improve how a search engine will find you, okay? How algorithms, that's how these things work, right? Algorithms determine what's loaded up and what's not based on the web pages and how they rank. So what about other relevancy? Well, these are the things that make your website the most relevant. Design. Does it load quickly? Does it have great content? And does it have keywords and titles that are embedded in it? Do your images have keywords? Do they have titles? Do they have descriptions? Even though the customer or somebody coming in might not see that, those are all things that help lift a website up in terms of Google search engine ranking. There's some other things, page text, URLs, what do they look like? How are they named? What are the link of different things? And is that content unique? So how are we going to make the content very unique and stand out? Because then it will pop up if someone searches that. What else? Images. Bounce rate and dwell time. If somebody's on my website, my blog a very long time, then, and they're not leaving quickly. So if I'm bouncing, I'm in and I'm out, right? I'm bounced in, I'm bounced out. I didn't find what I was looking for. Dwell time is how long I was on the site. If I'm on the site a long time, that definitely helps with my search engine. And TikTok is very similar. When we get into some social media stuff, the way that they function, how long you're staying there. And then that tends to create an algorithm that says, hey, you like content like this, you like people like this, and it will start matching you up. So the way that they're doing it is not dissimilar to how Google is doing it. And of course, page load time. You've got an old site and it's slow and it doesn't load well, it's Google is not finding, because it's crawling out there. And if it takes forever to find it, it's not going to rank you very high if your page loads very slowly. Okay. Popularity ranking factor. Search engines use the frequency of links from quality sites to determine, right? If I'm a Harvard Business Review, you guys have probably been out there searching things for your discussion post, and that pops up over and over and over again. That's a popularity. So it's going to keep moving it up. You know, it's kind of the rich get richer, right? If there's a popularity behind it, they're going to keep ranking and higher and higher. So celebrities tend to do better and better, right? For example, when a high quality site like Target links to a smaller, it raises the quality. Okay. So that's what we're doing here. Ranking for popularity. This is kind of a more visual way of looking at it. Come in here and see in terms of that site. And then it links into all these reputable sites. Quality scores. What are quality scores? Well, we get quality scores assigned from Google. We have natural backlinking, right? That occurs because somebody found a content to a link page useful, and then they backlink. They hold that link and they come in and use that. Manufactured backlinks. Intentional link building activities. So I am trying to build, say, for example, I say this is sponsored content. This is affiliate network marketing. Things like that, where they have those links intentionally there. That's a manufactured backlink. And self-created backlinks when they're intentionally embedded into our search engine optimization. Pay per click. So not everything's organic. We've talked a lot about what's organic, meaning I didn't have to pay for it. It just happened because of the things I did on my website, on the front end and on the back end. But what about pay? We know that pay per click things happen. So how does that work? Well, impression. Each time an ad is displayed, that's how many impressions. So if I go to buy an ad and they say, hey, your $5,000 will buy 100,000 impressions. That's what they're saying, is how many times the ad is going to be loaded up. That doesn't mean every one of those people will buy. It doesn't mean every one of those people can recall it or whatever, but that just means how many times they're loading up that ad. Clicks. Whenever a paid post is a paid per click is clicked on. So, sneakers. I'm going to go click that and I'm going to go in and I'm going to click that. And that is a click. That shows some type of possible purchase intent or at least interest. And we love clicks. So we're looking at the cost per click, that next item, because how much did it cost me to get? If I had $5,000 and I spent it and I got, all of these folks to serve up, the number of impressions might be 10,000 impressions, the number of times people will see my ad. And if only 100 people clicked on that ad, then we're going to take that 5,000 and divide 100 by it. And that is really where our cost per click is. It's astronomical, right? For something like 100 people, we're thinking $50 cost per click. Very, very expensive. I could have given all of those folks a sneaker and hoped that their word of mouth was cheaper. So very expensive, but we try not to get it that low. If that is not working, then we try to flip to something else, because that clearly was too expensive for what we were able to achieve. The click-through rate, the percentage of clicks to impressions, right? We want to compare the number of people that, the 10,000 people who we saw were going to be served up with the number of impressions people got our ad, with the 100 people who actually clicked through. What's that percentage? What does that comparison look like? Conversion. This is the pièce de résistance. The whole reason that we do this in advertising for marketing is we want people to take the desired action. Ultimately, we want them to purchase or subscribe, register for an event, whatever that action is that we're trying to drive. That's what we're trying to do. So that's what we're measuring with these different metrics. Pay-per-click terms. Well, there's landing pages, right? Sometimes you'll go into a website and you hit like a landing page. If it's a If it's something where you have to be over 21, it'll ask if you're over 21. Sometimes it's an advertisement. Sometimes it's just other things. So this is a landing page where they're directed. Sometimes there's a call to action button. Hey, you need to do this. And a lot of the folks I've consulted with over the years, I'll have a call to action that says order now, order now, order your catering, order your food, whatever it is that we're working on. We'll sprinkle those throughout to try to that call to action to try to start a conversion. So pay-per-clicks, quality score. We talked about this a little bit. A Google metric that considers keyword quality ads and landing page experience. Okay, so it's going to assign that, and that's going to help with the rankings are as well. Pay-per-click. Pay-per-click ads are they charge the marketer only when an ad is clicked on. We love these. We think these are great because essentially I'm paying for it after the fact, right? If somebody doesn't take an action, I'm not paying for it. Only the people who express some type of an interest or possible purchase intent are clicking on it, then it's kind of like a lead, a qualified lead, not just anybody. So we love this sort of pay-per-click. It's easier to control and manage, and it leads to higher conversion. Search engine marketing, ads that appear on the search engine ranking with organic search results or as sponsored content. We can see that as well. Right up at the top, it says that they're sponsored. Their ads right at the top of a search engine page. Those are paid, so they're paying money to help get them to that place. And we can see some of this up here. You can see where it says affordable, high quality ukuleles that says the word ad beside it, Those look like search engine results, but they're actually ads. They're paying to be right up there at the top. Okay, what are the steps for a pay-per-click ad? Well, we want to define who our audience is. We don't want to go in everywhere. It's expensive, right? We wanted to set what the objective is. We want to research what our keywords need to be to drive the right behavior from the right people, building a landing page, creating the ad itself, setting our keywords that we're going to buy. We're going to spend money on these specific keywords. Then we're going to test it. We're going to see how it works. Okay. And we're going to test it through a number of those different metrics that we talked about, right? The click-throughs, the pay-per-clicks, the conversion, all of those sort of things. All right, online display ad networks. Well, this is a company that provides network and infrastructure. The advertising network is. Publishers, the organizations that own the websites that accept advertising, okay? And then, of course, there's advertisers, people on the marketing side of things that are creating and paying for these ads. Okay, what are the aspects of a quality ad on digital or Google or something like that? It's visually interesting. It's a compelling value. It has a strong call to action, which I don't have here, but you need that. It's easy to see. Oh, I do. Easy to see the call to action. I jumped ahead. And it synchronizes all the messages together. Okay. It's not super text heavy. It's visually interesting. It gets the point, and it causes people to create an interest and wants them to click on it, and they want to click on it. Remarketing. Remarketing is an interesting word. What do we mean by that? A lot of times we rely on the use of cookies. You guys are digital natives. You know what cookies are, where they create these little tracking things, right? And they kind of see what your behavior looks like. And then we can come back and retarget you and say, hey, remember those? You did a search on shoes. Are you interested in that? Or Google will save those. And then the next time Nike has an ad, they'll say, hey, she wanted shoes. Let's serve her an ad up with shoes. So you'll start seeing those things along the side. That's all a function of cookies and algorithms that created. Advertisers remarket campaigns to show ad to people who visited them, right? I'd want somebody who came to my website to see an ad on Facebook. So there's this sort of remarketing across platform that can take place. It's very interesting. And remarketing ad campaigns work well because people need to see something several times before a lot of times they make a commitment, a purchase decision. So we want them to continue to see it. And it may be the wrong time of the day, right? If I'm looking, if I searched pizza a couple of weeks ago and pizza ads are served up to me at 9 a.m., that's the wrong part of the day. Maybe I need to be retargeted at a very specific day part as well. Okay. And more for remarketing here, we think about how this functions visually. We can kind of see a visitor may go to our website, then they leave, and then we start seeing sites on, on Twitter, on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook. Maybe we see it on Google on the sidebar. We see it all kinds of different places. So this is kind of how remarketing works. It's very clever, and it's there's a lot to it. I'm simplifying it here certainly, but remarketing is an incredibly effective tool. So this has been lecture 26, just a small teaser into digital marketing, not too much. If you're interested, definitely take some courses with me or someone else at NSU or even other places online. There is a lot to this, and I will see you in the next video.